So look at that. Amazon finally behaving the way I expected to behave. Just like the way I was saying Tesla holding the support line on the 50-day moving average. This is the 100-day moving average. Amazon holding that support line, eventually breaking it and moving higher. So here the McCullen oscillator. First green candle in a long time for McCullen oscillator. So now the sentiment is obviously positive. The volume is weak, but you know what? It can just come in and push the shorts. So this is a positive development for Amazon. Comes Friday. Friday is the end of the month, actually. So here you got the monthly. Well, actually, Monday is the end of the month, but this Friday for the week would be the end of the month on a weekly basis. But I feel like if this closes, I guess Black Friday would be Friday. It may, you know, go up a little bit higher, and then on Monday the results from Black Friday. Um, Maybe it'll hit 38.2 on Monday. Knowing that Monday is the end of the month of November, they may want to squeeze all the shorts out. Or the longs might want to just technically get this to the 38.2 just so the monthly candle will look nice and green to set up for a continued rally on December. Um, So that would be what I would think is poised to happen. So this is the this week candle, and then starting next week, it might end up at 38.2, or at least hit 38.2. Um, I don't know how the monthly works actually. It may, yeah, I don't know how they end the month on these candles, but if it ends at the 8.2 on the weekly and the monthly, then that set up a positive bias for December. And the reason why I think Amazon is gonna do fairly well for this online shopping is because they are the biggest online real retail, or yeah, store as far as retails, that have built up the infrastructure for COVID and shipping, and they're just prepared for it. As you know, you can see that Q4, or actually Q3 earnings, they were talking about record spending for COVID in preparation for Q4. So even though all the other retail stores, Walmart's, Best Buy, Nike's, Levi's, Macy's, any online store, I mean any retail stores will have online shopping. Internationally, Amazon is more poised for online. They can handle the traffic, they can handle the shipping, they can handle the returns, they can handle they're just a more trusted, the infrastructure better built than the other retail stores that are more brick and mortar, that they have they're dependent on a lot on traffic to their stores and shipping. I mean, and people going to their stores and the malls and whatnot. And that's not gonna happen this year for Black Friday, given that COVID is so high right now and people are afraid of catching it. Um, so I think Amazon is the best company poised for the online shopping, along with eBay. I mean, eBay may also get a spark. I think at this point it's sitting right at the intersection of the 50 and the 100. So that is a strong, that's a strong signal for this guy to break. And yeah, it's at a point where, yeah, look at that. It's poised to break this and run. So eBay is the other one that I think um, looks like a nice candidate for a a Black Friday online. So I may buy this one on Friday morning. Um, for next week. So that being said, this may be the final run up um, for the Nasdaq and also for the market. You can see how it's poised to test this top. So obviously the SPY and the DIA had already um, they have already broke the top and essentially at new highs on the SPY and the DIA. That's because of the vaccine play, announcing that the vaccine would come on March. A lot of the money, the funds that rotated to this, went out of the QQQ. So now the QQQ is seeing, you know, interest again, and it should next week with the development. What this looks like is poised. Look at that. The McCullough oscillator is looks like it's going to continue to go up. It's poised to test this. Now, whether it breaks it or not, that's not the point. It may break it a little bit. It may fail right here. Um, the question is, after the Black Friday rally and the QQ, this final run up next week, end of November. This is the November candle. It may end up close to here, whatever. What will happen for December? I mean, what will continue for December to break out of this and continue to run higher? Well, we know based on the survey that the Christmas allocation for spending is going to be less than what it was for last year. That data just came out based on the survey. So we know retail shop or Christmas shopping is going to be weak. So it's going to be based on the stimulus hope. And next week there's going to be talk of the stimulus bill, how big it will be, and they're going to go back into negotiation and whatnot. And they probably want to pass um, that stimulus bill um, essentially, the first week of December. I mean, as soon as possible. So after next week, they go back into to work after Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and they try to negotiate something. So if it fails next week, if it goes to the second week on Tuesday, Wednesday, and it's still not passing, and it may not pass because President Trump and the Republicans are not liking this whole election fiasco because they felt like they were cheated in losing the presidency. So I have a feeling that they may play hardball. So if you get a Republican Party and Trump not liking, what the results are, and not liking the way the Democrat play this whole presidential election kind of thing, they may play hardball. They may not want to get that stimulus bill to pass. That is going to cause a whole bunch of damage. I mean, we're talking about, if you look at this QQQ, you can see this overnight. Um, this is Monday. I think this is the Tuesday results, right? The Tuesday election. Um, so it gapped up. I think this is Wednesday actually. So it gapped up just from the futures. It gapped up. I don't know, 2-3%. This is just huge. This is unimaginable to be honest when I saw this. And then another gap up. I mean, how does it go? This movement is like this whole movement right here actually. From here to here is like here to here in a matter of like 3-4 days. I mean, that's just amazing how that moved. That's essentially this candle right here is essentially the same as the August. And you can see I was remembering this August. This is like day after day, it's just push, 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 push. Well, this is just the whole push, but it's just gap up, push, gap up, and just I mean, this is just incredible. So if this is possible just from the election results, think what is going to happen if the stimulus bill is not going to pass. It's going to gap down like to here. I mean, it's probably going to be the QQQ is probably going to be here after next week, and it's going to just gap down here and just crater. And yeah, 61.8 in a matter of a few days, six at this level, I believe, just from here to here. It can be that fast, that wicked, just from not getting the stimulus bill. Because without the stimulus bill, um, and already, the survey from the buyers for Q4 and the Christmas holiday spending is it's gonna be less than what it was last year. Obviously, that's the case because this whole COVID thing, nobody really wants to go shopping that much, or if they do, it's gonna be less than what it was last year. I mean, the sentiment in general, as far as happiness and optimism and whatnot, is obviously less than what it was last year. So yeah, so without the stimulus bill, we're in a world of hurt. So I feel there's a good chance that the stimulus bill may not pass because the Republicans are going to play hardball. Not liking the whole transition to President Biden, and I guess rightfully so, but it's a lot of politics behind this. So the only hope then would be the Federal Reserves and this whole promo FOMC spending, which we know eventually is going to crater off once the vaccine comes in. So we're looking at potentially next week being the final run. This is it. Potentially for if we get this final run up, then we get the crash. December will be boom, a huge red candle because there's no stimulus bill. And then comes, January, there's going to be a still fight for the presidency. There's going to be continue, further fighting for the presidency is just going to create further mess. No stimulus bill. Yeah, and the results are going to come worse and worse. And eventually, the vaccine comes in, uh, cause a little bit of optimism, but that optimism is gonna fade because you're gonna have the chair, Jerome Powell is gonna talk about levying off on this stuff because employment is at a record low or whatever it may be. The economy is solid, and he's gonna try to avoid political talks or whatnot. At this time, I guess at that time that it's probably gonna be Biden. I mean, most likely it's gonna be President Biden. So Biden might, I don't know when Jerome Powell time is up, but Biden might want another chairman. So all that talk about another Fed chairman and whatnot, that's gonna cause more disaster, especially this spending, if this spending starts to go taper down, and yes, it's gonna be gradual. So this, I guess it won't be like a crash, but it's gonna be a gradual kind of just grinding down. It may take, I mean, we might be looking at like wiggle, for months on end, weeks on end, months on end, whatever. It may be 2 years before it gets down to this level. I mean, that's a long time to get down to this level. Um, but that's, percentage wise, that's pretty big. And 2 years is a long time to be seeing your portfolio going, incrementally down percentage wise, right? Even though, yeah, this is a matter of a few months, going from here to here, going down is gonna take a matter of 2 years or whatever it may take because the tapering off on the promo, it's gonna take forever for this stuff to start winding down. And there's always gonna be conflicting interests, right? Because nobody wants the market to go down, so technically there's gonna be lines and Fibonacci and whatnot, so it's gonna fight. It's gonna fight, and it's just gonna, all this fighting. But eventually, it's gonna go down because interest rates going up. promo spending going down. I mean, there's just no way around it. If the market went up because of all the spending and all that loans that create more money because of fractional reserve spending, where you know E-Trades and Ameritrades and Charles Schwab and all these institutions can just create money out of thin air to allow for more buyers and buyers and buyers. Well, the reverse is going to happen, right? Less money coming in, interest rates going up. All of that is going to create margin calls, and people, they're just going to see this going down, and then they're just going to get out of their portfolio. Yeah, I think the writing is on the wall. It just looks like, it's going to be a slow boiling of the frog, so to speak. But the frog is gonna get boiled, and there's just no way around it because and already, COVID is starting to turn. Like, I mean, I was saying how this week was gonna be the peak of COVID, but it looks like last week is the peak. And yeah, with the winter months coming up, I think there's less opportunities for people to go out to bars and to the malls and whatnot. So there's no reason for people to go out, to be honest, and they're most likely gonna spend a lot of their time online. So Amazon is good to go for at least a week. Before everything, once everything tank, even Amazon will tank. Everybody will tank. So I'm looking actually to get into Tesla shorts, by selling the cars on Tesla. So this guy looks like it has a final target next week of, I guess it won't get to 600, or it may get to 600. But I'm looking for a final push, um as far as this candle to go to close to 600. So that's where I'm gonna sell. I'm looking to sell some Tesla cars. Maybe let's just say the March 19th. I might do earlier, or even January 15th. So 600. Selling this guy. So by January 15th, Tesla will have to be at 600, to be at zero for this. If Tesla is at 600 on January 15th, this will be zero. So if I sell one of this cars, and this is probably gonna go up if I get this final run up on Tesla next week, to be around here. So I'm hoping to sell this one, at maybe 665, or maybe even 70 if I'm lucky. So if this is at 70, that's 7,000. So that's what I'm hoping to get on Tesla. Yeah, I think I feel like selling the cars on Tesla would probably be a good idea, especially with this Fibonacci. Um, this run up on the Fibonacci from here to here, you can see how this is a critical line. And if you draw in another Fibonacci, um, if you draw the Fibonacci here and put it at this point right here and move it up, aligning it where this is the top, well, that will line up perfectly with this one. So yeah, this guy, to this guy on the Fibonacci, that would perfectly line up everything. So looks like, the target right now is close to 600, about 590. That would be the target, to sell on Tesla, or the target for me to sell the cars. And I'm looking at this either January 15th or February 19th, March 19th. Give it enough time, I guess. I might even do two. I might do one here and one here. Who knows? The other thing I did miss the Amazon on the December 18th. I was saying how I was gonna sell I was gonna sell this guy right here as it get close to this line, and make this 12,000, right? 122. So I was looking to get onto this one. I mean, the setup was there, but it was a miss. The only reason it was a miss because they stupid gapped up. So they gapped up on Monday, and I was like, darn it, I'm gonna have to. I don't want to chase, but I'm gonna have to chase. So on this retractment, to here on the VWAP, I sold a weekly put, and obviously when they went all the way down here, I didn't want to buy another put, so I didn't want to have two puts or selling two puts. Had it gapped down or had it gapped up only a little bit, I wouldn't have chased. There would be no reason for me to chase except that it gapped up so strong. I felt like it was gonna run, and so this was all a trap. And then they just boom sent it all the way down, uh, down to, yeah, right here to the support line. Um, and then from that point they ran it up. So had they not gapped it up and try and give this initial strength, I probably would have waited and gotten these puts right here, and I'll be up 6,000 right now. Now I did make 6,000, but I didn't get this long term. This is what I wanted. Instead, I had to play the weekly puts. And I wanted to do something more long term, like the Tesla. The other plays that I have is, of course, the Biden play, the Democratic election play. So these guys were looking good right now. Like I said, the solar company, First Solar, Sunrun, Solar Power, right? All of these went up. I some of the other one like United Airline. I got into this one. So for next week, I did get into Humana, so I'm gonna add another piece to Humana because I feel like yeah, I feel like this is gonna run eventually. So I want to be able to get out of all my position pretty soon, because of the stimulus fiasco. So this final run, Big C, I'm looking to get out of this one as well. How much? Yeah. So they did started to run on the IPOs. You can see Lemonade started to run. Um, where's the other IPOs like Snow? Yeah, here it is. So Snow started to run. I mean, look at that, all the way up to here. This ran early. I missed that one out. Net, Frog starting to run. So all these IPOs are starting to run. Vroom, this is gonna start to run. Sumo, yeah. So that ran as well. And this is Slack Technology. This already ran. Um. So what plays are potentially for next week? I'll probably just stick with the same candidates really, except I may go with some more bottom fishing. So Norwegian Cruise, nah, that's too expensive. United Airline, Boeing. Let me see what Boeing is at. Bone is still pretty expensive. Overstock might be a good one. I did get out of it, but I may get back in um, on Friday. It looks like it was able to handle this type of sell down. So Fastly, not solo. Let me look at Fastly real quick. Um, yeah, Fastly looks like it may run. I mean, really, all the candidates are good candidates. Not this won't run, but any of the common candidate, this one might run to DT. Although, yeah, it's right at this transition point. So if it back off a little bit, eBay was the other one I said, right? I'm gonna get into this one. This one's probably, yeah, probably a solid candidate to break out, um, especially with the online shopping and whatnot for Black Friday. Continue run on Sunrun maybe. Take Two. Let me see what Take Two is gonna do. Already too expensive. Apple's dead in the water, even though it probably gonna move. I'm not gonna touch this one. Humana, of course, that one's a good one. Although it is weak, so I'm not sure. But I need to get a position because I want to get out of it before the whole market crash. So I need to massage my way out of this guy. Um, Baba, let's see. Baba probably already ran. Yeah, kind of already ran. So I'm gonna actually try to transition out of whatever position I have right now. Um, Nvidia might have, this might be the final run up. So yeah, the QQQ, that is my target. To get out is when the QQQ is gonna try to break this candle, try to test this top candle, and whether, depending on when it's gonna break it or not break it, sometimes next week, I'm gonna have to determine whether the stimulus bill is gonna pass or is gonna not pass. And right now, I'm not expecting it to pass. Um, and I may have to follow up and start watching the financial channels on start list following Biden's and more of the whoever's tweeting out there and just try to follow up and see what is the potential probability of a stimulus bill to pass. Is it a high probability? Is it a low probability? Is Trump gonna play hardball? Is the Republican gonna play hardball? To me, I feel like they will play hardball. The stimulus bill will not pass. The whole presidential election gonna be a fiasco, and Trump will not hand over the presidency quickly, and that's just gonna cause the whole mess comes December, because without the stimulus bill, yeah, all hope is lost. And then next year, if he's not gonna give up in December, he's not gonna give up in January. So it's gonna be a mess. And vaccine right around the corner. Give one false bull rally, whatever that false bull rally may spark. I don't know how low the market will be at that time, but whatever percentage it will jump, that's all gonna be for nothing because the Feds will no longer have any excuse to continue to print assets. And I'm not talking about just the Feds here in the United States. I'm talking about the Feds everywhere, right? Every country, every nation, Europe, China, Japan, Australia, whatever company out there following this same printing. This is just gonna back off, and that means, globally, all the Federal Reserve spending, central bank spending is going to contract, and that's just going to cause the market to go down, and rightfully so. It should go down, right? I mean, um, if all the spending, if all this run up is, with COVID and a global pandemic, a record high stock market. under a pandemic, then wow, what excuse is there to be this high without a pandemic? Without Federal Reserve spending? I don't know. I mean, but I don't think it should be up here. And like I said, it may take 2 years before this whole thing goes all the way down, but that's a lot of pain to hold on for 2 years. Especially when you are holding on a 401k and you're seeing whatever the return is from here to here, 50%, 100%, I don't know. I mean, everybody right now looking in their 401k and is really happy, but 2 years from now may not be that happy, because no one, no mom and pop is able to massage their way through this mess, and this mess is gonna be hard even for me to massage my way through it. But I'll see how I'll do it. I mean, I got history benchmark of this results, and yeah, getting to know this whole results and remembering this, hoping to serve me well for this downturn, wicked upturn, whatever it may do. All this data, all this history should apply going forward. Um, Especially this gap, right? This gap up thingy. This is going to be the reverse eventually, especially if the stimulus bill doesn't pass. So that's what I'm thinking of right now. But we still got one more week of fun, of one final run up. So that's gonna seem forever, of course, until that time comes, to revisit what should happen next.